Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues, and Reviews. With today's review about being an early release of One Piece 812. So, the title of this lovely chapter is actually called Capone Gang Bech. Capone Gang Bech, as you know, works under Big Mom and also is one of the 11 supernovas. He is the character who has the ability to basically hold people inside him. They become miniaturized. He's basically a walking castle, you could say, and he has the ability to hide loads of forces inside him, cannons, artillery, and get them out within like a space. So we got introduced to him pretty early, round about the time when everyone else was introduced to the 11 supernovas. We haven't seen much of him other than a panel where it looked like he was with Big Mom, and he is with Big Mom. So moving forward, so this what this chapter really is. It starts off with the cover page. The cover page is Kokoyashi Island, or village, where the new picture on the new bounty of Nami has been seen by her sister. And the surrogate father basically who's complaining that it's like, really seductive and revealing, how dare you, and he's got it blown up like the first one. So there is that funny kind of humour to it. So like we saw at the end of the last chapter, Peckham's reaches the island, but he wasn't alone. So naturally, with the name of the title, it gives it away. Bej was with him, Capone Bej. Capone Bej also is a character based on Al Capone, a gangster from back in the day in history. So, Peckham's being a mink completely understands the history and all the heritage that's on Zunisha or Zo. So he's heartbroken and he's so worried about what's happened when he sees all the devastation, because he's thinking, where are all my friends and family gone? What's going on? Was it the Straw Hats? He immediately thinks, because he's after the Straw Hats, that it was them. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Nami and Wanda is exchanging clothes. So the clothes that she's wearing now in the current storyline was getting changed at this point. Caesar is basically become a pharmacist all of a sudden, and he's like kind of mumbling under his mouth and breath and whatever have you, saying, "Why do I have to do stuff like this?" Because he thinks he's all high and mighty, right? Sanji's being his normal weird self. And what's funny is they make this noise, Gachu the minx, and Sanji's like, "Oh my god, it's a lovely invitation," and he's getting all like friendly with the women. The funny thing is it's like a proclamation or like a, "Hello, how are you doing?" type of thing for all minks. So the men do it as well. The men like, "Oh yeah, Gachu." He's like, "Get away! I don't like men." So it's kind of funny that happened. It's kind of like a running little story gag. They talk a little bit about Momo. Momo's basically kind of kept up. He's just in his in the room. He goes, look, he finds it better there. So then what happens is obviously he comes to the second hideout. So where the other half of the Straw Hats are, and where all the survivors that are getting well are, and they recognize him. Now he finds out while he's there that it turns out that a lot of the minks are alive, and it's because the Straw Hats saved him. So to him, just like the minks, he considers them saviors, because his heart was breaking to know that his family could be going through all this while he wasn't there. Now, when he gets recognized, like Sanji and Nami and people like this see him and they go, "Oh, so you know of Peckham's, because he was a handful when he was young. He was a naughty boy when he was young, but now he's gone on obviously to do famous things with Big Mom." So Sanji's obviously, being the strategic guy, is kind of thinking through everything. He's thinking, okay, I could just give Caesar away, but Luffy kind of declared war against their boss. So how is that gonna play out? I don't quite know. And then you got Caesar whispering in his ear, "Please, please, don't let me get caught by him. Let's assassinate them. Let's assassinate them. We'll do it. It's fine. Don't worry about it." And he goes, "Why are you so scared? What have you done?" So basically, as we know, he swindled Big Mom out of money, and the way he did this was he was going to take research money for an experiment that didn't work. So because it failed, he knew it didn't fail. He still commissioned money out of it anyway. So he thought, yeah, I'm alright. I'm protected. Doflamingo's got my back. Joker's got my back. Now that Joker's ass has been kicked, no one's got his back. So that's why he's scared. He goes, oh yeah, we'll take him. Me and you, Sanji. We're best friends. He goes, no, we're not. We're best friends. So really licking up to Sanji at this point, which was funny because like Sanji's like, I don't really care about you. You were our trump card when we were beating Doflamingo. Now that we've kicked his ass, it doesn't really matter. So it's funny to have that conversation. So what he does say though, he basically says, Nami, stay with the rest of them. Brook, come with me. Now this is interesting because he picked Brook to fight and not Chopper. The reason why, because honestly, he's A1, he's the doctor. B, he's although he can fight, he's promising fighter. He's got some talent and he's got some raw potential. He's like the baby of their crew. So from a fighting point of view, the only person that can really fight, that can do something decent, is Brook. So it shows a lot about what Sanji thinks of Brook as in his potential. So there is that's a good little confirmation there. So they go to speak now. Now at the same time as they were heading there, Chopper's like, oh yeah, we did also destroy the ship. So what do we do? So he's worrying as well. So they're all staying back in the fortress. So it's kind of like a gangster meeting type of thing. So Sanji goes, what are the big mom pirates doing here? You're causing a bit of a ruckus and stuff like that. You're worrying people. But Peckhams doesn't care. He's like, oh, thank you very much. You are a saviour. He gets on his knees. He's crying. Snot's coming out of his eyes. He honestly, wholeheartedly thinks they're saviours. He really does. And because of that, you could see how genuine he is. And that deep down, he's got a good heart. You can see that although he follows Big Mom's commands to a T, to a certain degree, he basically has a good heart, really. So what he basically says, look, I had two orders. One, the definite order was to get Caesar. The second one was to split you lot up, as in capture some of the Straw Hats. And the reason why is said in that way in the chapter, more than to my opinion, is because they were separate anyway. So the idea is, if you take care of potentially the weaker side of the crew, then you have their power type of thing, even though the monsters are on that side, other than Sanji, right? So the idea is that they were meant to capture them all. Because look, you know what it is? We'll just say that I failed. You go, just give me Caesar. I don't really mind. I'll make something up. And Capone Bed's like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, no, shut up, newbie. What this tells you though, because he's calling Bedge a newbie, he's not been there with them long. So it could be that just over the 2 years, or recently in the last 6 to 9 months, for example. Now Capone Bedge obviously says, how naive, opens his hand, shoots out guns and shoots Peckhams in the back. He does not care. He is ruthless. And then within a couple of seconds, he shows his ability, and he's surrounded Sanji and Brook, and they're all guns and cannons towards him. He goes, look, I could have blasted him full whack with cannons, but I didn't want to cause a stir. And plus, I know if the minks got wind of this, they would be on your side. So Capone Bedge is quite battle tested in the sense he's quite wise and he's quite shrewd. So that's very very important point to bear in mind. And Sanji's like, what the hell are you? What ability have you got? And then Brook's like, well, I'm sure you shot something out of your hands. But there are people in your hands. And he goes, then he says like, I'm a walking fortress basically. He goes, I'm in the same generation as your captain, and he's been doing some weird, some crazy stuff over this era, and he's been riding on the coattails because he's one of those members of the elite super rookies. He's automatically given a name. So, for example, the way I'm assuming he means is the better other super rookies do, the bigger a name a super rookie gets. In that generation, the bigger a name he gets, because he says, I'm a super rookie too, I'm just as good as them. And I guess that's what he's been hinting towards. So they get surrounded, and basically they've also caught Chopper and Nami, right? And eventually they trick Caesar, saying, look, I'll shoot you, get out of the tree, I've got sea stone bullets. He jumps out, he goes, no, it's Lang, I've only got a sea stone spear, and pins him down with it. So he captures Caesar, he captures them all, chains them up, and he goes, you're going to enter the fortress. So you enter his fortress. And it's funny, I was always thinking, what's he like on the inside? So he's a castle, but he can, like Boo does in Dragon Ball Z, he has like a mini form of him inside. And he goes, now that we're here, do you not want anything to eat? Some wine maybe? And they're like, what do you want? Just tell us what you want. He goes, well, here you go. And he hands out an invitation. He goes, this is an invitation to Big Mom's tea party. The main event. A wedding. A wedding. Now you're probably thinking, who's getting married? So I'll tell you the bride. The bride is the 35th daughter of the Charlotte family, Purin. The Charlotte family, which is Big Mom's family, I think she's the mother, Big Mom, and her 35th daughter, doesn't talk about children in general, 35th daughter, how big is her family? How much jigginess does she get on? Is she one of those asexual people that just produces kids by herself? Or does she just get jiggy? Because she's just going at it like a rabbit if she's got 35 fucking daughters. Sorry to swear, you must have sons as well somewhere. But 35th daughter is called Purin. The groom, the third son, I'm reading off an here, the Vinsmoke family, Sanji. So we know the name of his family. He is not Don Quixote. He is not Don Quixote. But this explains a little bit. What this explains? Why Sanji was on the ship in the first place. So what this means to me is he had an arranged marriage plan. Similar to the story of Sabo, where they already had it in mind, where Sabo, being a noble family bloodline, will get married to possibly Tenryubito's daughter and have a bigger house and a bigger name. I think that was the idea. He probably had an arranged marriage plan from a very young age. It is quite common in a lot of different cultures, that he basically did not want to do that and he ran away. Became a cook, met Zeph, the rest is history. That's possibly the way it's looking like. But here's an interesting point. He's the third son. That means he has two older brothers. That means we're going to find out. So an interesting development. Capone Badge is not to be messed with. Okay, although he didn't look special in the Shabodi arc, he proves he's got some tenacity. He's a tactician and he's really clever and wise in the battle of walls and confrontation. We hear a little bit about Sanji, and damn, he's getting married. Here comes the bride. Anyway, that was an amazing chapter. It came out early. It made my Thursday. I had a busy day at work. I read that in my lunch break. I was so happy, so excited. I had to come back home straight away and record this video. So, a lot of revelations there, interesting things. Like, comment, subscribe, share, get the conversation going. Tweet me if you want to. Leave comments, I'll definitely reply, and let's get the conversation started. Cheers, peace.